Today we celebrate this place, this partnership, this nonprofit, this community building effort. We have such great hopes and dreams for Family Promise here in Portland. And our hopes and dreams are not just about transforming the lives of the children and their families who find themselves homeless and therefore will be welcomed here. Through this door, though that might be enough. Our hopes and dreams are in line with the vision of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his vision of the beloved community. According to Dr. King, in the beloved community, poverty, hunger, and homelessness will not be tolerated because international standards of human decency will not allow it. Racism and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice will be replaced by an all-inclusive spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood. So, may this place of welcome for those who find themselves lost and without a home. May this place be a place of welcome for children who have no bed to claim as their own. May this be a place of welcome for families of all shapes, all sizes, and all configurations. May this place be a place of welcome for immigrants who had to flee their countries to keep their children safe. May this be a place of welcome and a means of building bridges across identities which sometimes have divided us. May this be a place of welcome where Muslims, Jews, Christians, Baha'is, Buddhists, Hindus, and religious people of all stripes, and people of no affiliation, come together to build community. May this be a place of welcome, and may its existence move us as a whole community forward as we seek to become the beloved community. Let's cut this ribbon.
Dear friends, today is an important day, a celebration of community and interfaith collaboration. I want to extend my congratulations to and my support for the Greater Portland YMCA's role in helping families move towards housing stability with an unwavering commitment to treating all people with respect and dignity. The Family Promise model of utilizing existing resources to ensure shelter, safety, and sustenance is a cost-effective program for families in transition who are experiencing homelessness. Equally important, however, is the project's emphasis on utilizing community volunteers of all faiths, thus creating an opportunity for meaningful personal relationships that forge bonds of friendships and illuminate the local and global conditions that influence migration and homelessness. Over the last several months, I've had countless calls and letters from concerned constituents who want to know how they can best respond to the current political situation in meaningful and effective ways. They need look no further than Greater Portland Family Promise. While none of us can hope to change everything, we each have the capacity to change something. To volunteer as a means of showing support and solidarity for those who face hardship. A home is not just a shelter, it's the foundation upon which families build stable and meaningful lives. The YMCA is not just a pool or a gym, it's an organization long committed to offering programs and services for people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds that benefit mind, body, and spirit. And Greater Portland Family Promise is not just another nonprofit to help those in need, but rather an opportunity to expand awareness and live one's faith. It is impossible to ignore social problems or maintain prejudice when you more fully understand the struggles of individuals that you know personally. At a time we are being told that we must build walls, I'm grateful for the staff, board, and volunteers in my district who are committed to building churches. It is an honor to represent you in the U.S. Congress. Sincerely, Shelley Dupree.
So Lisette, it sounds like Family Promise is a wonderful thing going on. We have the churches who are really coming together. And with my understanding that the children and older children are going to get to be here during the day. Can you tell us a little bit about how that might work?
Well, with everything we have here to offer, from weights and the gym, the basketball courts, we have squash, we have English is the second.
Wonderful.
You know, so they can learn their language.
And so these families will have full access then to the water?
Entire access.
Entire access. Wow. That is wonderful. Thank you for your good work.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Diversity Dignified, and on my show we deal with anything that's diverse. So today I'm really proud to be introducing my next guest, Sara Ewing Merrill, who's from Hope Gateway, and she has really spearheaded a national program called Family Promise, and it addresses homelessness among families. And this is a multifaceted problem, and so Family Promise deals with it in a multifaceted way. So without further ado, we're going to launch right into this program. Thank you for being here tonight. Sarah, thank you for being with me tonight.
Yeah.
So Family Promise, just tell us a bit about, launch into what it's about.
So I work for Hope Gateway as a co-pastor, and I'm also the executive director here at Greater Portland Family Promise. And Greater Portland Family Promise is an affiliate of the national program, which is a 30-year history, and is in 43 states. We're going to be 44.
Wonderful.
And 206 affiliates will be 207,
Wonderful.
207. So it's a program for children and their families who are experiencing homelessness.
Okay.
So anybody can qualify for the program who has a dependent child.
Okay.
So families of all configurations are welcome in the program as long as they have a dependent child.
Now, Sarah, I can hear people like, we got shelters. Why do we need this? Why do we need this?
We do have a really great family shelter here in Portland, and it has 151 beds.
Wow.
Which is a lot.
Yes.
And it serves families with male parents are able to stay with their children, and which is kind of unusual in family shelters. And the family shelter does a really great job here, and the city of Portland has a policy of not turning anyone away. So, but families are in overflow. So there were, I believe, 3 families last night who slept on the floor on mats in a space, and there's just not room for them at
Right,
the
so
shelter.
when you say there's overflow, that literally means they're just on the floor, and so they're not really being looked after. And so what happened? Did someone reach out to you to help out? How did this come to
Last
be?
January 2016, there was a meeting, and there were some people from the city there and some people from faith communities there and other people, and the city just said, we need help with this problem.
Right.
And we need help from the faith community. At that meeting, they articulated that there was just more need than the city had capacity to help with. And so they said, we need help from the faith community.
Okay.
And my husband talked with me after that meeting and said, what was that model of churches housing families? And so I remembered it and looked it up, and it used to be called the Interfaith Hospitality Network.
Yes, I heard
And
that.
so it's now called Family Promise, and the Interfaith Hospitality Network is the component that we're starting with,
Okay.
which under Family Promise. And so that means that churches, 13 churches, take 13 congregations. We also have synagogues, and mosques that are involved as partners. But the 13 take a week at a time, and they host families from Sunday to Sunday.
Okay.
And they do that 4 times a year, so quarterly.
Okay.
Those 13 host congregations welcome families into their buildings, into their classrooms, into their social halls, fellowship halls, and they stay there from in the evening for dinner, and then all until morning for breakfast.
So then it's similar to a shelter in which during the day they go about trying to find work
Right.
and the children go to school.
Right, except for us, this is their home, the day center.
Okay.
So in this, they have a place to be during the day.
Yep.
We'll have computers where they can look for jobs
Yep.
and look for housing and case management. Intensive case management for the up to 4 families. So
Okay.
we have maximum of 14 people
Yep.
and maximum of 4 families who'll be in the program. And we have a case manager who'll be giving them case management, intensive case management
Undivided, yes.
on their issues to get them to a better place, because this is not emergency shelter.
Right.
This is a program that takes people from a place of instability to a place of stability, a place experience of not having the resources to sustain oneself, to a place where people know the skills that they need to be acquiring.
Yep.
They know what, they know the rules. If they have benefits, like they know what they need to do
Yep.
to get them. That we don't want them to leave us until they know everything we think they need to know.
Right, the independence to be able to function in the community.
Right.
So I guess I'm really curious, Sarah. So a family comes to stay at Hope Gateway, for example, for a week, and then they go to a different church. And so does this keep happening until they're finally housed?
Right.
So why the jumping around? It's
So part of it's a rotational model.
oh, I see.
So it gives each congregation an opportunity to get ready
Yeah.
to do the intensive work of providing 7 days of care from the evening till the morning with volunteers
Yep.
all lined up for preparing the food. So that group of people takes on that intensive job for
Okay.
7 days.
Yeah, it's very
and
intensive.
then they move on to another group of people who takes on that intensive job for 7 days. And so all of those people are fully engaged
Yep.
and are really invested in those people. And one of the beautiful things about the program is the hospitality.
Yeah.
And when you're experiencing homelessness, you don't feel wanted.
And you're not.
No.
No.
And even if
Yeah.
you're couch surfing with somebody, you know
It's
you're
not the same.
imposing
Yeah.
on them and that you're an inconvenience.
Yeah.
And in this program, like right now, we have all these coordinators who are in charge and all these volunteers who are anxiously anticipating the
Yeah.
arrival of our first family
Sure.
on Sunday. And when that family goes into that space, they can sense that they are wanted.
Welcomed.
That people are
Yeah.
longing for them to be
Imagine
there.
that.
And that's not been their experience.
No.
I mean, even at the family shelter, the staff is great, but the staff is not there they're not saying,
No.
please, we hope we'll have more families.
Right, right.
It's just a different experience
Yes.
of being wanted and being
Yep.
supported and also being connected to people who are in a more stable place.
Sure.
Because when you're living on the edge, you
You're-
don't really have a lot of chance to connect with people who are living in a
To
stable
model
place.
it, yes, and I think we sometimes forget that. For example, I had a friend who had severe mental illness, and it was very clear after I got to know him that he didn't really know how to be stable. He didn't have an example of it, and so you guys are providing a model. And it sounds like you're committed to these families until they are finally able to make that leap and
Right.
live independently.
Right.
So, Sarah, say someone's watching this program and they think, oh, my church or faith community could help in this way. How would they go about getting connected and doing that?
So we have host congregations who are committed to actually physically housing,
Yeah.
having people in their space. And then each of those has a partner or partner faith communities
Okay.
that are working with them to get the volunteers, to organize all the things they need, to have the food, to have the bedding, to
Yeah.
have all of the the toys,
Yeah.
to work together. And part of the beauty of it is that communities that are not connected to each other then form relationships
Nice
because they work
alliances, yeah.
together 4 times a year.
Yes.
And ongoing.
Yeah.
And so faith communities can get involved in by being partners.
Sure.
And individuals also can, who aren't affiliated
Yep.
with faith communities, can get involved and volunteer at the day center.
Yeah.
And also possibly at congregations after
Wonderful.
they're connected.
Wonderful. And yeah, I've never been homeless, and I am feeling grateful about that. I can't even imagine not knowing where you're going to lay your head that night, how you're supposed to navigate some of the services you need just for the here and now, but also for the future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't even think ahead because you're just so
Right.
much in, it's great to be mindful and in the moment, but not quite like that.
Right.
So,
And
yeah.
we really see this as like kind of a respite.
Yes.
Like a time for families who are in crisis to have their basic needs cared for
Yeah.
so that they can actually do the work
Yeah.
that they need to do to
Yeah.
get from one reality to the next.
To the next one. I love it. I love it. So you said here that we have a 12 or 13 faith communities involved in
Yeah,
Maine.
host
You're
congregations.
Looking for more, I imagine? Or?
We will be. We're always looking for more.
Sure.
The year has 52 weeks,
Okay.
and 52 divided by 4 is 13.
Okay.
So we have we have 1 week that isn't covered because one of those communities is only hosting 3 times.
Gotcha.
So we need a solution for that week.
Yeah.
That might be a faith community, or it's not coming up immediately, so we have a little space to figure
So
that
we'll
out.
put some time out there. You have some time for that.
And then we have at least 13 partner communities that are involved as well.
Now tell me more of the role of the Y as the day program, because I'm excited. I know a little bit about this, so go ahead and.
Yeah, so the Y, we have been in conversation with the Y for about a year about how we would work together. And Sharon Vale, who is the director here, who's no longer here, which is a little sad, but she really loved the vision of the program and saw the compatibility of it with the Y's vision.
Yep.
And the Y isn't just a place people come to exercise.
No.
It's a resource for the community with classes and things for kids and adults for learning. And they have opened all of their offerings to families in the program.
Isn't that wonderful?
So families, this isn't a tiny space at the day center,
Yep.
but even on a snowy day, the teenagers can go up and play basketball, the kids can be in swim lessons,
Yep.
karate lessons, there's
There's
all
everything.
sorts
There's
of
yoga. There's the badminton ball, all kinds of things. So I think people do underestimate the Y. They have the Live Strong program. I do know they do a lot here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited too. Now, all these families are coming from Portland, so I'm going to imagine that the faith communities that are serving are all in southern Maine to make
They
that
are in Westbrook, Portland, South Portland, Cape Elizabeth, and Falmouth.
wonderful. So it's all nice and central. Great. And what else do we report? Do we supply like case? You said that other case management is supplied.
Yeah,
for
we have a 20-hour-a-week case manager.
Okay. And all their meals will be coming from you all?
Yeah,
or
so the
okay.
volunteers prepare the meals. You don't have to be a trained volunteer to cook,
Sure.
but there is a little orientation about you're cooking for 14 people.
Sure.
Most of
yeah,
them are children.
Yeah.
And so, and they might not want your gourmet meal. Like
Right, right.
they want to know that's chicken and that's
Yeah,
rice
yeah.
and that's a potato and
Right.
that's a salad, just recognizable. Many of our guests in the program will be our new Mainers,
Yeah.
recently arriving
Yeah.
immigrants. And so, we try to culturally accommodate as much as we can.
Sure. Will they also participate in those sorts of things? Some of the cooking?
Yeah, we have a partnership with Avesta, which has a
Okay.
building right next door across Forest Avenue here on Cumberland Avenue, and they have a community kitchen.
Oh, wonderful.
And so one of our plans is to have volunteers and guests cook together.
Yes.
So the guests teach their cultural recipes,
Yep.
and the volunteers, they teach the equipment. Like, oh, you can use this to do this, and you can.
Yep.
And then part of the gift of that is then the volunteers also know those recipes.
Yes.
and can cook that
Yeah.
kind of food for
Yes.
the guests. Probably not as well as the guests would. But.
That's great. So, an average person watching this show, wanting to help you, maybe they're not part of a faith, maybe they're atheists. They want to help you either with their time or their talents or their money. How would they go about doing that, Sarah? Who would they get in touch with?
So we have a really great website
Okay.
called GreaterPortlandFamilyPromise.org.
Yep.
GreaterPortlandFamilyPromise.org.
We'll put it underneath.
And that's a place where you can find out about volunteer trainings.
Okay.
Also, during the month of July, we have our board and other invested partners have promised $12,000 in matching funds. So gifts are doubled until the end of July. And even after July, we'd be happy to receive your gift.
Sure.
Because this program is not government funded in any way.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
program that we sustain by grants and by donations.
Yeah.
And that's going well. And I think, this is not a faith-based program, actually.
Right,
This
so,
is a
yeah.
program that uses the existing community resources.
Yes.
And some of those existing community resources are faith communities.
Yep.
And so they're empty buildings that, are just sitting there. So it's a great, with doors
Absolutely.
on classrooms, that can be easily made into bedrooms for the week.
Wonderful.
So we try to partner with all kinds of existing community
Yep.
resources.
That's wonderful, and I do know that I have a stack of envelopes that I'll be leaving at CTN, which is on Congress Street. So, and we'll make sure that we include the website. And I thought a nice way to end this would be a little story that I picked up from Mother Teresa. I thought it was great. There was a 4-year-old Hindu boy, and he heard about a sugar shortage in Calcutta. And at 4 years old, he wanted to help Mother Teresa. He couldn't even pronounce her name.
Mm-hmm.
So he went 3 days without his sugar. And it made me realize, there are lots of good causes out there, but sometimes we don't know how to help, or we don't feel we have enough money to help. And so I have committed giving up my coffee for 3 days, which comes out to $1.70, which is a little over $5. And I guess I just want to encourage you. You may have only $2 or $3. If 30 of you who hear this have $2 or $3, that adds up and it can help. And as we heard, that this is not government funded, so it's really out of your generosity. So if there's maybe a bit of sugar you could give up, that would be wonderful. So thank you for tuning in to Family Promise and your interest in Diversity Dignified. And please be in touch with Sarah or the website and do what you can. Thanks so much.
Thank you.